Welcome back to Sacramento Smooth Jazz. This is our Clear Talk segment, the financial series here on Sacramento Smooth Jazz Radio, where we take a brief pause from the music to bring you clear, useful conversations about money, retirement, insurance, and financial peace of mind. Again, I'm joined by our in-house financial expert, Mr. John Nunes of Fortis Insurance Solutions. You guys know who he is. He's been doing this business for 28 years, and he's helping people make sense of important financial decisions. And of course, as you know, our goal, if you're first time listening to this, our goal and purpose today and every time we're here is to bring you no hype, no pressure, and no financial noise. Just a straight, thoughtful conversation designed to help you become more informed and comfortable about the financial road ahead. John, it's always great to have you here on Clear Talk. What's going on in your world? How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic, Michael. Thanks again for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about information, to get the people to know more about what's happening with their dollars or what can happen with their dollars. And over the last few Clear Talk segments, John, we walked our listeners through a progression. You clarified that a 401k, what it is and what it's not. We talked about the retirement gap. We introduced where protected income strategies may fit. And the last time you said every dollar in retirement needs a job. Let us go one step further. Which dollars should be assigned to the income job?
Well, first of all, Michael, that is the exact next question. Because when someone understands that every dollar needs a job, the most important retirement job is income. And that's what we've been explaining over the last few episodes. Because the one thing that happens once that paycheck does stop, the bills don't stop. So before we talk about products, accounts, or even any type of investment, we have to identify which dollars are responsible for keeping the household running every month. And those are the income dollars.
Okay, I get it. So why should income dollars be identified before someone starts moving money around?
Well, because retirement, it's not just about what someone has saved. It's about how that money behaves once they need it. Like, for example, if the mortgage, rent, utilities, food, insurance, healthcare, and taxes, those need to be paid every month, then those expenses need dependable income sources. Now, that doesn't mean that every dollar needs a guarantee, but essentially what it means is that expenses shouldn't have to be dependent on perfect market timing. And that's the key idea.
Are you separating basic expenses from lifestyle expenses?
Yes, exactly. I like to separate the retirement spending into two broad categories. The first one is called essential expenses, and those are the things that must be paid whether the market is up or down. The second one is your lifestyle expenses, which include things like travel, hobbies, gifts, entertainment, anything that's extra. The essential expenses should be matched with the most dependable income that's available, while lifestyle expenses may have more flexibility because people can adjust them if needed. So that simple separation helps people think more clearly.
So when you say dollars need different jobs, what are the main jobs people should think about?
Well, there are four primary jobs that I want all of our listeners to remember. First of all, income dollars. That's what creates the monthly cash flow, okay? Liquidity dollars are accessible for things like emergencies and different types of opportunities. Growth dollars are designed for the longer-term upside and inflation pressure. And lastly, the legacy or protection dollars, that's what helps support the family, estate, or even long-term planning goals. So the mistake is asking one of those accounts to try to do all four of the jobs at the same time.
So that brings us back to the 401k conversation. What happens when people expect one account to do everything?
Well, the one thing that happens is they put too much pressure on that account. They want that account, first of all, they want it to grow, okay, to provide income, to stay liquid and to avoid market losses, possibly even manage taxes, handle things like emergencies, and lastly, they want it to last for life. Now, for one bucket of money, that is a lot to ask. So for a 401k, even though it might be valuable for accumulation, by itself, it's not going to automatically decide which dollars are income dollars, which ones are considered emergency dollars, and which are the growth dollars. That requires someone to have planning.
Got it. So, and a lot of folks are just not doing that, of course, because they're not taught. And I'm glad that you're here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm speaking with none other than John Nunes. He is the president and CEO of Fortis Insurance Solutions. He gives us insight several times weekly. Of course, we're here today. Let me ask you this, John. Where might protected income strategies fit into this income dollar conversation?
That may fit when a portion of the money needs to create dependable income. Now, that could include things like annuities or other structured income strategies, and it all depends on the person. The important point is not to put everything into one product, but which portion of the money needs the income job. So once we know the essential expenses, income sources like Social Security or pensions, and the gap, then it puts us in a position where we can see whether protected income makes sense.
If some dollars are assigned to income, John, does that mean liquidity and growth become less important?
No, of course not. They still matter a lot because what liquidity does, it gives people breathing room. And what growth does, it helps address inflation and future needs. So the whole goal here is balance. So if everything is locked into income, there may not be enough for flexibility. And if everything is exposed for growth, there may not be enough for certainty. So a good retirement income blueprint, it usually has both dependable income for core needs and flexible dollars for everything else.
Okay. Now, a lot of folks are just, sometimes that they're overwhelmed by information, which is why I'm glad that you're able to walk them down the road. So how does this connect to the Fortis Legacy Diamond that you consistently speak about?
The Fortis Legacy Diamond is built around protect, retire, bank, and leverage. This topic connects directly to that. And how does it do it? Protect asks what must be protected. Retire is going to ask where the income is going to come from. Bank asks where liquidity and control come from. And then leverage asks whether capital is being used strategically. So when every dollar has a job, the diamond helps organize those jobs into a system instead of just random accounts.
Okay. I know a lot of folks have some questions. So if someone's listening wants to know which of their dollars should create income, what should they do next?
It's like we always say, Michael, start by getting clarity. You don't want to move money blindly and you don't want to make any type of emotional decisions. So first you have to identify your essential expenses, okay? Then identify your existing income sources. We'll find out what your gap is, and then which dollars need to create dependable income. And what we do at Fortis Insurance Solutions, that is part of the retirement income review. So the goal is simple here. Let's give every dollar a job, and let's just make sure that the income dollars can do their job when the paycheck stops.
There you go. There you go. Always great insight from John Nunes, President and CEO of Fortis Insurance Solutions, designed to just give you some insight, folks, and some understanding, and just for a few minutes. All right, not a full lecture, but some insight. And so for you to want to learn more, I really recommend that you reach out to John Nunes because everybody's different. Every situation is different. Every objective is different. Every goal is different. Every age is different. And so, John, how can they reach you? How can folks reach out to you to find out where they are and how they can be taken to the next level?
Yeah, our listeners can reach me by calling 1-800-900-3150. That's 1-800-900-3150.
Appreciate you, John, as always, giving us some expert information. You don't come with that jargon. You don't come with fancy slogans and things of that nature. You come with the facts, man. And I really appreciate that, you sharing that with our listeners here. So thank you again.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. All right, folks, as we get back to the music, reach out to John Nunes, okay? He can give you his phone number. If you have any questions, of course, and you didn't get a chance to write it down, go ahead and just drop your information into our chat at sacsmoothjazz.fm. Let's get back to the music. This is Sacramento Smooth Jazz, your escape from the noise.